Okay, so I've had a bit of a change of plan. I'm not making a headphone splitter. What I'm going to be doing this week is making a piezo amplifier with a transistor. So I had a look at a Colin Cunningham video, magazine video, where he does this, and this is the starting circuit, but I don't actually have any of those values, or I don't have many of those values. But I do have loads of these old chunky film resistors. So in the middle of that circuit you can see there's a voltage divider. That's the 1.5k and the 560 ohm resistors, and what they're basically doing is they are cutting down the voltage to a level that's acceptable for the mpf-102 transistor. So I multiplied those values by 1.4 and went from 1.5k to 2k2 and 560 up to 820, which you can see here. That was just multiplied by 1.4. I got this circuit here. And whiteboard, awesome. And that 3.3 meg on the left as circuit, I'll end up changing that out for a 4.7 megahertz. 4.7 mega ohm resistor. But other than that, the basic layout was the same. I used a different value capacitor for the power bypass. If you're wondering why this sounds weird, it's because I'm doing a voiceover the whole way. There's some obligatory shots for anybody who wants to copy it. Should be fairly easy to freeze frame those. As I've just shown from that printout, I tend to do that myself. So that circuit there, sound on. Yeah, sorry about that. It's actually really sensitive, turns out. And it makes really cool noises like from the breadboard. I could have gone to using a breadboard circuit. This is a paper version, all the layout's the same as a regular breadboard. The other option is using this perf board. I don't really like this stuff because it tends to fall apart pretty easily. It's basically like a Bakelite or paper fibre board kind of stuff, and it tends to be quite greasy and it tends to be a pain to solder. I tend to like this stuff, which is a fiberglass version, and it's much better for making longer term things. But in this case, I'm actually just going to run with single-sided circuit board PCB. And the advantage there basically is that I can just lay things out how I want, and plus I'm going to do a series of videos on different etching techniques. The step here is a pretty essential one when you're working with these. You need to, usually I would actually sand it lightly and then clean it, but I'm using bitumen, as you can see on the left, or road tar, or tar seal, basically oil distillates. So I'm just taking the worst of the wax and grease off that before I start. That's just so that the etchant can get into the surface that's not covered by the bitumen. And that's clean enough. There's actually no cuts in that, it's just some mild scratches in the angle of the light that's doing that. So that's basically road tar or roofing bitumen that's been thinned down just with mineral turpentine. And just above that you can see the basic layout that I'm going to be doing for the circuit board. But basically yeah, there's me clapping for the sound, which I managed to delete off my second hard drive, hence the voiceover. Yeah, skills. So I'm basically just painting on this thin down stuff, and then, you know, because this stuff's a bit of a pain in the ass to actually get to lay down, it doesn't spread out very happily, and, you know, kind of creates bubbles and does all sorts of stuff like that. But I'm basically just painting in the areas that I want to keep. You know, transistor in the middle, and then there's a track with a couple of resistors going over top of it. And, you know, I'm just sort of the first one at the top I was looking at the actual layout, and the second one is more of a freeform. This is a chemical I'm using. You see that yellow or the brown colour that's coming in? That's me adding hydrogen peroxide to a mixture of copper sulfate and hydrochloric acid. If you don't know about chemical safety, or, you know, don't use this stuff, you can see it etching through the copper quite effectively there, but it is a kind of moderately dangerous chemical, and I am actually a registered chemical handler in this country, although you can just buy this stuff at a hardware store. And this was me setting up for my time lapse for the soldering, which I didn't check my battery, so I deleted it. This entire video is just an absolute clusterfuck. And there's the final thing that I did. I had to prove for a class that I missed that I knew how to solder, because the rest of the class had to do a soldering tutorial. Yeah.